Good evening, everyone. Shiny from Mydbops here. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining us today for the 34th edition of My Webinar by Mydbops. I'm honored to be your host for this webinar, and I'm very excited to be here today. I'm immensely proud to represent a company that has been actively contributing to the open source community, and I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your continued support in our journey of contributing to open source databases. Today, we have an interesting topic to explore together: what's new in MongoDB 8. So, today's session focuses on MongoDB 8, a highly anticipated release promising substantial performance improvements and a range of innovative features. We will be exploring how MongoDB 8 delivers significant performance enhancements, from faster writes to optimized queries for specific workloads. We will also explore advanced sharding capabilities for seamless collection management, along with exciting improvements in queryable encryption and persistent query settings. We want this webinar to be as engaging and interactive as possible, so feel free to ask questions using the chat feature. Now, I would like to take a moment to introduce our esteemed speaker today, Manosh Malai. Manosh is a CTO at Mydbops, and he brings over 15 years of experience in the tech industry. Manosh is a recognized expert in DevOps and SRE practices. He's deeply passionate about database management solutions, specializing in MongoDB, Cassandra, and Redis. In addition to his technical expertise, Manosh is a thought leader in the field, actively involved in the Bangalore MongoDB user group and known for his innovative and visionary approach. Additionally, he is a tech speaker and blogger. We are excited to have him lead this event. Manosh, over to you.
Thanks for the introduction, Shani. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 34th edition of Mydbops webinar. I'd like to extend my gratitude to each and every one of us who joining us wonderful afternoon. Today, we are going to discuss a fantastic NoSQL database MongoDB. Specifically, we are eagerly anticipating the release of MongoDB 8. This talk will focus entirely on the exciting features and update expected this new release. Recently, MongoDB conducted MongoDB local event in NYC 2024. There was an outstanding presentation was delivered by a MongoDB team with the anticipated features of MongoDB 8. After attending the session, I was so enthusiastic about diving deeper into the feature and understanding a few key pointers which is not very clearly projected. Then after I go little into the internals of those things, then when I discussed with my team, they shared, sure, we can share this with our community, which help know what is going to be coming towards MongoDB 8. I hope this session will be so informative and engaging. Thanks everyone for the time again. Let's jump into the session. So myself, Manosh Malai, I'm the CTO of Mydbops, heading DevOps and MongoDB and DevOps practices in Mydbops. I'm an active tech speaker and blogger also, and I'm also a MongoDB user group leader, Bangalore. About Mydbops. Mydbops is a database management and consulting organization which was founded in 2016. We are 8+ year old company, assisting 800 plus happy customers. We are a certified AWS premium partner, particularly for databases. We are PCI and ISO certified organization. So today agenda, as I told, this talk generally created in the impression of the presentation delivered in MongoDB local. So I keenly focus on the key feature and what I learned from this. So based on that, I created this agenda. So we'll start with performance enhancement and sharding capability. What are the improvements made in the query encryption enhancement, and few other interesting feature on the query settings. Let's jump into the performance enhancement. This whole numbers claimed by MongoDB. I'm just repeating the information again here. As MongoDB claiming that using the YCSB benchmark, Yahoo Cloud Service benchmark, according to the things, 54% write improvement we can see in the Mongo 8. When I saw this number, we have a quite amount of client bucket in Mongo. Nearly 40% of client have bulk upload, bulk write operation based on the business use cases, particularly in the night. Even they don't have control. Few clients, they are holding, they will upload some CSV, and those clients will create a lot of challenges in the real production. I believe this numbers is really reflecting in the production. It will be quite benefit. Then sure, we will push our client to go forward to Mongo 8. When you coming to read, it's very interesting that we also see 27% of improvement. They also projecting that mixed workload improvement, 95% read and 5% of write operation, we can see 25% of gains. It's a quite improvement the numbers are saying here. Even we can see the time series workload, we are seeing 60% boost. That is one interesting factor I like to say, particularly dollar group operator because it is a time series database, it's a range, we will group, then we will go forward the other aggregated stage. In upcoming slide, we are going to discuss quite interesting part of this. They are claiming that 60% boost will be, we can expect in the time series workload, particularly in MongoDB. These numbers are so interesting. I believe it's really going to change something in the NoSQL world, the improvement. Let's wait and see. So let's come into the workload specific improvement. So this particular slide, I like to be very clear. I'm not just going to tell what we are expecting in 8.0. This required some information we need to fetch from 5.6, 6.0, and 7.0 also. We all know MongoDB introduced slot-based execution engine quite time back. Exactly when I say it is 4.4 as a POC they introduced. But exactly it came into the production like 5.0, 6.0, 7, and now it is 8. They are doing lot of improvement in all the places. Quite amount improvement. It's not simple thing. So the improvement stating that in the aggregation stage, group and project, we can see 50% improvement in the 6 and 7 version itself. In match, they are claiming that 90% improvement latency. So this all we achieved in the previous version of Mongo itself. In 8.0, that improvement is turning around in one interesting solution. In 6.0 and 7.0, Mongo introduced columnar storage for the particularly time series database. We know any analytical data load will require a columnar storage. Interestingly, Mongo have a background of white tiger storage engine. White tiger have a capability to enable both row as well as columnar storage. So using that feature, Mongo is so projected organization always. So that is one I always love towards Mongo also. This is one important thing. So they use the white tiger storage engine, columnar storage, and they use for the time series database. In the previous version of 6.0 and 7.0, they enable columnar storage and they introduce block processing in 8.0, and they are claiming the query operation dollar group 60% improvement. This is quite interesting. Then this is my homework I did to collect all the information together. I understand how the travel is happening. I try to do some more background work also, try to fetch some Jira ticket or some documentation which is in the code, but very unfortunately, I'm not able to capture anything, but I'm eagerly waiting for the MongoDB documentation, which is going to be released soon with the updated one. I hope that document may release a lot of information more deeper. Let's wait for that. Then command path optimization. So in the particular talk, Mongo local NYC, this command path, they talk only for a few minutes, but I'm too curious when I heard about command path, what is it, what improvement what they told command path optimization is taken care in MongoDB 8.0. It's going to improve read and write performance heavily. I said, I'm purely from the DevOps and database background, but I like to understand more detail what command path and how it's going to be improved, because I'm not able to understand very straightforward what. Then let's go into the deeper of Jira tickets and Mongo code. What I understand, I'm going to share with you guys. Command path in MongoDB means the generic term is saying, whenever we are executing a command, the moment it receives from the database, the end of the result it's returning, the whole journey they are stating as a command path, according to my understanding. So I try to take one scenario to explain with you all this. So whenever we are executing a read query or write query, it will be received by the Mongo service, and it will fetch database name, read concern or write concern, all this metadata through the recursive system calls. So when you visualize that, whenever the query execution is coming to the system, each and every information will be executed as a separate call. It's a quite resource consuming one. Now, MongoDB is taking as one data structure like common request arc kind of thing, and putting all together in same data structure. Whenever we are receiving a query, this will be formed into one data structure, and it will be transferred to the query execution path. So instead of taking 4 to 5 recursive query API calls to get this detail, with one API call, we are getting all this command request argument and we are executing. This is one simple example I able to visualize myself toward the command path optimization. I can see this kind of optimization if they are doing in lot of places in the database internals. I believe this is a quite interesting improvement in the database. I understand that when they are started writing to evolve the MongoDB, they just focus on the feature and the few improvisation and some specific feature part, very basically. Now they are focusing on the improvements of the command path. What I understand is really fabulous thing. I believe this is going to be improved lot of read and write performance from it. I also shared a few Jira links which I used to refer to understand what is command path optimization. I recommend you guys also check it and you make it understanding. If you have any question, please drop a mail to us. So sure, we try to answer those. So now we are going to see an interesting feature going to release in Mongo 8 is Express Path. So to be very simple understanding, how can I say? Wherever we are going to see single equality predicate, instead of IXCAN, IDXCAN, now we are going to see that as an express. So we call it as express underscore IXCAN, express underscore cluster underscore IXCAN, and ID hack express path. So these are all the simple understanding I can tell my community to understand, relate to the express path. But internally, what we are going to get and what kind of improvement this is going to be created in the system is quite interesting. MongoDB claimed that in the talk, as well as when I referred internal documentation and the code path and everything, the command section of code path and everything, I understand they override the way how they accessing till now the index data. Now they created some view over the Tiger index data file directly through some system call, and that index file, we all know very basically that index file have uh, record ID and key string. The key string, we know that what is key string. It's so for simple understanding, it's a binary format of the index value. And record ID is nothing else, the location of the particular document in the data file. So previously, how it is work, they converted this binary formatted data into the BSON. From there, they do all the comparison and everything. So now they created a new view, which they can directly map the information from the actual index file, and they can do all the homework, and they get the record ID and history. They get the direct information. This will reduce quite amount of latency in the single index execution part. So this is quite improvement. So basically, I know few clients when we are working that 30% of their load based on this also. Based on their application and things, they just use very direct targeted hit on the particular document, and they fetch the information, how the application is designed basically. Even I saw that 70% of the query also based on the single field query, so single predicates. So I believe this kind of improvement, what they are claiming, it's like 17% latency reduction. If I can visualize my load is on single predicate is 30% load, the 70% improvement is a quite high number. So this is also a quite interesting change we are going to see in MongoDB 8. And very important things, we talk about fragmentation a lot nowadays. Particularly, we focus on index fragmentation, data fragmentation, then we'll do compaction. Those all homework we will do. So now MongoDB go little one step ahead and think to optimize the memory fragmentation. We all know MongoDB is quite a memory database, like it keep most of the data in memory, as well as it's not about white tiger data. It also use OS memory also to load the disk cache and uncompress and move to white tiger eviction. These all story we all know. So they understand this critical improvement, and they made 18% memory fragmentation improvement. We all know Mongo use default Google TCMLR. This improvement, they are claiming that 80% will be memory fragmentation. We can see that my system is using 2 GB of RAM. 360 is a good number. 360 MB is a good number. So I believe we need to wait and see. This will be quite interesting changes and TCMLR. Let's see how this is going to be. But they're claiming that there will be better and stable under high load machines. I can also say, even you running one replica set with the system for storing logs and those things, this improvement is quite interesting. The next thing, it's about Atlas feature. Till now, we talked more about community. I like to share this also quite interesting things I like to share with my team. So in MongoDB Atlas, we know we have a query inside. We have a graphs. In the graph, whenever we are seeing the ups and downs of the graphs, we can point our cursor to understand which collection we got this hit and how much MS that particular query got executed. Also, MongoDB introduced heat map. When I saw this graph, I like to share small information to my community also. MyDBOps having this kind of tool from very long time. Even we have presented this similar information in, I think, in 1 year back, we have a MyDBOps meetup. There I presented what are all the MongoDB tools we have, how we are helping our clients. In this place, I explained that we have heat map, and the heat map help to aggregate the information. Those graphs, I believe it is now MongoDB Atlas giving that. It's a quite interesting one. I believe it helped to narrow down the problem very quickly. I love heat map actually. Any observability engineer who is closely working with the SRE team and DevOps team, they know how heat map will solve the problem. Basically, when you are troubleshooting quite, but the heat map, I am really loved it. I request you guys also explore those things. And the next thing is we have a query shape standardization. So in previous version of Mongo, they introduced query hash and the query shape, now again query shape. So now they are, when I refer the documentation, I understand Mongo use K to representative parsable value method, which is a standard method to find a unified query shape for all type of query, aggregate, code, everything. When I go and check the code, I can understand that they allocated one bucket of folder which put all the header and CPP files. How I'm not very much expert in backtest the code, but I can see that how much effort to put and everything. It's quite interesting to see. Using that, they are creating a unique query shape for each query. The value may change in the query, but for overall, the one query pattern will have a unique query shape. Using that feature, they introduce quite interesting feature we can enable using that. I like to share one small story with all you guys. We have few clients. They have some backend application which they don't have control on the queries. The query which will dynamically wrote by the application and push it to the Mongo. And that query don't have very good fields and cardinality. Whenever we got impact in the database, we go to them and tell, hey guys, this is happening. We need to, either you need to direct this query to secondaries or hidden node, or don't push it to production. They say that Manosh or team, we don't have that control. Then we have our own internal tool called MyDB kill, which we try to create a regular expression to find the query in the current app, and we will kill that homework we will do. But right now they introduce quite interesting feature using query shape. If you found the query shape and we set the query setting with the query shape and setting reject true, that's it, the job is done. Now MyDB kill we don't need. By using this feature, we can reject that query without hitting our database. This is, I don't know how much people can visualize this one, but I believe whoever feel my pain able to understand how this going to solve much problem. The biggest thing is we don't need to reach application to change the code or do that. There are a lot of change. This is quite interesting feature in the query site actually. And next thing is plan catchy filter. Plan catchy filter also quite interesting thing. It's quite uh, expected one from our end itself. We have a client nearly 26 plan catchy filter also we are having. Use that much usage of plan catchy filter, we created our own backup, restore, alarms, those kind of system for watching the loading the plan catchy, restoring the plan catchy, deleting, adding. It's a quite big system we developed at our end to handle this one. Why? Because the plan catchy is not persistent in this model. Oh, extremely sorry guys, I forgot to tell why we use this. We have a query which change very frequently the value, what I mean. That time the optimizer failed to choose appropriate index. That time, whenever we are seeing that anomalies, not abnormalities, anomalies, when the index is wrongly chosen by the optimizer, we see the load in the machine. To understand this kind of scenario, we create a plan catchy for that particular query. We understand overall 80%, 100%. When we choose this A index, my system will be not compromised by this query. Then we will create plan catchy for that query. Maybe not perform all the cases, but 80% of cases, this index will be suited. So that is the use case we use plan catchy in our end for our clients also. When we reach client to rewrite the query, but they have some business challenges on their end. So when we are going to this journey, this plan catchy is quite important for few of our clients also. So that we created a very big ecosystem to manage this plan catchy, those things. Now, MongoDB have a solution for this. We have a query shape. You have an admin command, set query setting. You can put a query shape and index filter, whatever the index name we are telling. You can tell the name of the index, the job is there. The beauty here is we don't need to backup, we don't need to restore everything because this is the persistent one. Whenever you are restarting, it's automatically reload. And it is also replicate to other replicas. It's a quite interesting feature. I'm very happy and I'm very thanks to MongoDB, the dev team for this. I'm very happy for this feature also. And read timeout globally. Basically, whenever we have client, they talk about no timeout and read timeout. We know what is no timeout. We specifically enable for few analytical queries and those things. But read timeout, now we have a wonderful feature in cluster parameter. We can tell read operation timeout in MS ABCD. We can tell SLAs and we can define certain number of read timeout. It helps to solve the problem. We don't need to reach a development team to tell this in the code itself. This is a quite interesting. This look like very one-line changes, but according to the handling of huge databases, the small changes can do a lot of improvement, like 80-20 rules. The 20% improvement will create a good impact in the system. Those kind of changes, this is all I can tell. And few helping commands in shard also introduced. Now we have move collection from unsharded collection from one shard to another shard. We have that option. The biggest beauty of this one is we can transfer the collections from shard 1 to shard 2 or ABCD without disturbing the operation. It's quite interesting feature. I'm very awaiting to test this and explore this more. The next one is convert the shard collection to unshard. I don't know how much you guys will agree with me, but we have some use cases in certain scenario. Now also we are doing for one of our clients. They initially set up the shard and they believe the application will do that, but later they decide that we can go back to the replica set and those things will happen in a lot of scenarios. In that place, unsharding collection will take quite amount of time when you have a huge amount of data. MongoDB claiming that when you have a 1 TB of collection and that all numbers are there, in 7.2 plus, it is going to take only 12 hours. In 5 to 7, it is 220 hours. Oh, it's a huge change. I don't know what kind of magic they did in the back, but it's quite helpful for a lot of engineers. It give good sleep for MongoDB database team. Thanks for this wonderful changes, MongoDB guys. And queryable encryption enhancement. I always love MongoDB security view. Why? Because queryable encryption feature, we have a special talk in our bucket also. We have one webinar presented by one of our engineers. You can refer our YouTube channel. We talk what is queryable encryption and how it is work and how we can enable in open source community, how we can enable in enterprise, what good, what bad. Those all things we shared in the talk, and MongoDB also have their own good documentation and they have their own videos also. You can refer both the things and you can come to an come to a solution how we can enable it in. Why? Because we are working with a lot of partners both in banking as well as other financial sector clients. Now fintech is growing very huge, and they are also considering MongoDB highly. Why? Because MongoDB is a NoSQL database. We can scale. We don't need to worry about schema. We can scale it as per the business requirement. There are good things also there. Encryption, they use queryable encryption feature. Now MongoDB support quite interesting things like operators like greater than operator, lesser than operator, greater than equal to. These are quite basic feature you look like, but when we are working with queryable encryption feature, how we are storing the information and how we are fetching, those are quite interesting engineering they did. Now they are evolving it to adapt lot of operator to help the application team to enable this queryable encryption more next level. I believe this feature help and uh, go take this encryption, queryable encryption feature next level to the team. And this one interesting changes also going to be happening in 8.0. That's it, guys. Whatever I thought I like to share with you guys, I shared. I like to thanks once again for everyone to uh, give your wonderful time with me. And thanks again. If you have any question, please let me know. I'm here to answer. Suppose if I'm not, you can write an email to us. We will reply sure. Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Manosh, for that insightful presentation on MongoDB 8. It's clear that this release brings significant performance improvements and innovative features that will shape the future of data management. We hope MongoDB 8 offers a powerful toolkit for organizations to handle their data needs efficiently. If you are interested in learning more about MongoDB 8 or how MyDBOps can help you leverage its potential, be sure to visit the MyDBOps website. If you have any further queries or would like to continue the conversation further, feel free to reach out to us at info@mydbops.com. And please don't forget to send out a review of this webinar on LinkedIn, Meetup page, Twitter, Insta, and other social media platforms for supporting MyDBOps open source activities. Once again, thank you, Manosh, for your informative presentation. And to our attendees, we appreciate your participation and look forward to seeing you in our future webinars. Have a great weekend. Thank you.